South Africa and Kenya have put on an amazing wildlife spectacle over the past few days. Let's take a look at some of those highlights. This is Safari Catch Up.
We have found ourselves our first subject for the morning. This big boy, big male giraffe. You're gonna pull that whole branch down. My goodness, it looked like he was. Look at that long tongue. Average giraffe tongue usually around 30 centimeters long, which is a very, very long tongue. Yes, we're talking about your tongue, my man. Look at you. Vanessa, drinking water is a disadvantage for their tall necks. They've got these valves in their veins, specialized valves that obviously prevent, a lot of blood from rushing over to their heads when they bend down. But when they do so to drink water, they have to spread their legs and slowly bend down. They can't be down for too long. It's because the valve is in their vein, stopping the blood. Doesn't mean blood doesn't rush to their head. It just prevents, a whole lot of it. Because you look at the thickness, the thickness of a giraffe neck at the bottom, where it kind of connects to the body compared to the top, is immense. Now, can you imagine how much blood is in those muscles and pumping around that particular area of the body? So it's a lot of blood for a very, very small head.
Oh, a beautiful female leopard with her two youngsters. So it's Kuchava in front, her daughter Rulani here now next to her, and then her son Shapuku at the back. It's a boom shakalaka moment. Oh, indeed. Oh, Kuchav's just kind of settled her. Shapuku's coming to lie next to Mom. It's like, please, Mom, a little bit of attention. Oh, there we go. Mom's giving her son a little bit of attention now. I think he was really looking forward to that. Oh. There we go. As you can see, there's grooming of Shapuku. Well, Rulani's just lying on the side. She's just lying on her side. I'm not really asking for too much attention there. Alright, looks like finally Kuchava has decided to come to a sit still or lie down. She's on top of a nice termite mound with Rulani to the left and Shapuku at the bottom of the mound. So mom and daughter here. Look at that, mom and daughter. This is like so heartwarming, eh? When you see something like this. Come Shapuku, you must get in there as well. We have to have a family portrait before things change.
Right, so we've had some developments here. There's hyenas. Have a look. These lions are now being surrounded by hyenas. You don't know what's going to happen. Oh, isn't this exciting? There's at least 6 or 7 hyenas that are now starting to circle the lions. Listen. The lions are growling at the hyenas. These hyenas are being very, very brave. Oh, look on the left, look on the left. Some of them are quite young too, so I'm quite surprised that they're being so brave. So hyenas are very inquisitive scavengers, but also predators. So they might be thinking these lions have a bit of a kill. Maybe they're trying to pick up some leftover scraps. Unfortunately, I think the kill site where they made their last kill is kind of behind us up on the hill. So these hyenas won't get any food here.
Right, we just got that leopard coming back again towards Gariman with Kuchava and the two youngsters. But a very interesting thing that's changed up here now, everybody. And Nsumi has joined in. So Nsumi is Kuchava's previous cub. And Nsumi is a territorial female that's north of where we had Kuchava a little bit earlier on. Kuchava and her two youngsters are just to the left. Just to the left of Nsumi. There's Kuchava. Let's look at Shapuku and Kuchava's there. Alright, looks like Kuchava's now moving away from the area now. She's taking, you can see she's coming straight south with Rulani and Shapuku. I think she just wants to get away from Nsumi now. So she's decided to, you can see, watch Kuchava looking back again. Look at her, she's growling at Nsumi. Watch her, you can see her demeanor has changed now. You can see how she's kind of just not happy with that. So now what Nsumi is doing there at the back now, she's just sniffing out exactly, you know, where they were lying down and rolling and scent marking. You can see she's standing on top of this log now, just kind of scoping out these three. That's now moving away. It's like, yes, mission completed.
Oh, here you have it. The magnificence of the Eastern Cape. Nice moist grassland. These rhinos are moving through. It's lovely to just sit with them. The birds calling. There are, Jessica. Black rhino throughout the savanna biome and the thicket biome. Not as many as there used to be. I don't know what the black rhino numbers are in the Eastern Cape. But there are some here. She's got a very impressive horn. And the ears have got notches in them. They're used for identification. There's a numbering system. It goes between the left and the right ear. I don't always know it. I think reserves have got different ways of working it out. And then it's easy in the field with binoculars. You can just look and see a rhino and you know that this is this one versus that one.
And if you look carefully in that tree, you can see the same baboons. I mean, we had one on the ground, but now we have a couple of them inside that tree. And they're feeding from the fruit of this East African greenheart tree. You can see them jumping there from one branch to the other. And they're getting very vocal now, not sure for what reason. Of course, not alarm calling. Could be some sort of communication. I was saying before, I mean, baboons are omnivores, but to me they are more herbivores than carnivores. Very rare we see them, eating meat. They do, not rare in that sense, they do, but more often than not, you'll get them berries, fruits, leaves, twigs, sometimes tearing tree barks, grass blades. The balance of these primates, to me, it's very special. baboons could be quite heavy. How they don't break these trees and how they are sure, because I've never seen one falling down from a tree, never ever. But how they balance themselves is pretty special. This tree here, there are some of the species, or one species that remains green or round the ear. Very solid, very strong, very tall. And it has been used by almost every animal I know here, most of the herbivores. That was right on top. Nadia, you're wondering whether baboons should use their tails to communicate. Not sure they do that like the lions, because baboons are primates, and I think it's more of verbal communication than their tails. But of course, sometimes you never know. That could happen. But I think, Nadia, it's more being a verbal, backing, communicating in some sort of their own language. But again, you never know, because once they need to move, everybody knows where to go.
So these southern ground hornbills are a vulnerable species, so it is very special every time we do get to see them. So some of the threats that pose towards these birds are habitat loss. They like to have these large, big trees that they normally nest in normally on rivers or banks or in big dry forests. Unfortunately, a lot of these trees are either falling down or no longer there. So yeah, one of the threats that is posed to them. So Ellie, the youngsters normally have very yellow facial skin around their eyes, face, and under their chin there. So most of these are quite prominent. They do have quite a prominent red color. So I would say they're all adults, but only the main male and female, so the alpha male and female, will be the only ones to have chicks throughout the year, and the rest of the group will help to raise those chicks. That's also a reason that their populations could be declining, is because it takes a very long time for them to raise their chicks.
They're going to walk right towards us now. Boys are stretching their legs. We passed a small herd of impala just a little while ago. They definitely are very alert. Hello. You guys have got some very dirty feet. I had a feeling they would have come over towards this western side after we checked where they were last night, and they weren't there. We had some monkeys alarm calling. We were looking in that area. Didn't see anything. It's very likely they were shouting at these boys.
There's someone who is not happy. There's a lot of rumbling, a lot of trumpeting. Well, as I said before, you can see, as I said earlier, the smell is definitely immersed. We can smell it very strongly. I would not be able to translate what's happening, but my guess is the females are maybe not very happy with him. I had at one point seen some submission it's one boy chasing another. And again, as I said, once this male got here, the dynamics changed completely. Either the females here are too young, but definitely you can tell the male is enmeshed.
Have a look at this secretary bird, isn't this cool? I always love seeing these secretary birds, and they are a very good indicator of a... Oh, whoa! What was that? Oh my goodness! Why did a little bird just fly into it, James? Oh, there's a locust. Oh my goodness. A locust just bounced, like basically flew up out of the grass in front of the secretary bird, hit it in its chest, gave it a fright, and then the secretary bird thought he would make a meal out of that locust. That was a big locust. It almost looked like a little bird. Wow. What an unusual sighting. Anyway, this secretary bird is a very good indicator of a healthy ecosystem. It means there's lots of little rodents and snakes slithering around.
Now, if you look at this buffalo here, who is being irritated by oxpeckers, I guess, the horns are huge. They have what we usually call a boss, very thick horns at the base, because more often than not, they'll use them for the same reasons, just like the lions, for fights or for defense. We have seen buffaloes fighting, males against each other, some of the fights being very fatal, very brutal fights. So these are two individuals here, and I would say then days could be numbered, because this is the territory of the Topi boys, and we saw them here 2-3 days ago, 5 of them. And I would say it's the very first time I'm seeing buffaloes in the marsh area. Very, very rarely you get them here in Mara. Going to marsh areas, they will know where to go for a drink. There are a lot of water points in the Mara, sometimes eating grass that is succulent. And that particular one is not grazing, seem to be looking in a particular direction, not anything myself I can see. But again, who knows what you'd be looking at?
Oh. Wow. I don't know, I think I'm pouring myself for some other reason we're hitting these things perfectly. Isn't that stunning, that power of the roar? So what he's doing now is he's not really bothered about kind of, how can I say, showing on telling all the other lions his location, but the main thing as well, he's trying to, communicate with his brother. He's trying to, contact his brother. So he's hoping for maybe a reply from his brother. I mean, exactly what happened the other day. His brother did that too, and he was waiting for his reply. So very, very interesting. Very nice to hear that.
We are actually just seated next to a tree that's actually full of vultures. It's actually 2 different species of vultures, which is why we're so curious. So you can see there's a group of 3 on the left-hand side, and at the top of that group of 3 is the hooded vulture, and then we have the white-backed vulture, the other species of vulture that you usually see in their large numbers, and they are the ones who clean up. So they arrive sort of at the kills after the hooded vulture gets there. Now, sometimes this can throw you off. The reason why I say that is because quite often when you see lots of these birds perched in the tree together, you'd think there's maybe a carcass or maybe a kill around. But we have also observed in Sandringham lots of these birds congregating in trees together as a roosting spot. So if there is no kill, this is the spot where they will congregate with each other and take in the atmosphere. And when they see a couple of others maybe swarming, that's where they might go.
We got a hippopotamus that's out of the water. I would say it's rather early to be out of the water, but again, it's not surprising to see them out once in a while for a number of reasons. I would say number one, if they are hungry and they think or they can't wait until it cools off to get out of the water. 2, of course, depending on individual hippos, and 3, if the conditions would allow for her to get some food. I've always talked of when we guides are out here, doing our thing, when you see animals without any visual pollution, there's nothing as appealing or as peaceful as that for us. See grass moving, trees in the background be blown by the wind, a hippo there, Ellis there, any other animals. It's so peaceful. I have found myself with these huge antelopes that we call the common elands. And on a closer look, they all look like they're all males. Most animals here in Africa, you'll always have a bachelor of something, and I'm talking of, say, the males always will pair together or will live together. Now, these elands are going away from the smoke, away from the fire, but they're going towards the storm. We got clouds building the direction they're going. And just trying to wonder, all of them are males. Would they be having a leader? Possibly. We have seen a buffalo males when they have a bachelor, herd or club. We always see one male tends to pull the shots.
Look at this guy. You best be careful there. He's moving in. You're going to get yourself in trouble there. Obviously, not enough to be caught. The birds are quite quick, have quite fast reflexes. They'll launch themselves into the air and fly away. But this cat's not going to be all too accommodating if you get any closer. This bird. So obviously it's feeding on the scat. We know this because the wind is blowing from them to us, and we smelt it. Oh, here we go. Look at that, Bailey. Look at it. It's massive. It is massive.
This particular individual here seems to have woken up, stood up, and her eyes are focused, for me as far as I'm concerned, to the grass, because I cannot see anything. But we all know these cats will see things we do not see, especially cheetahs, because that look tells you she can see something. And very, very good camera work there from Marcel. And it seems to be a boy. I could be wrong. All right, James Richard, thank you very much that you're watching, James Richard, and you're saying this is a boy and his name is Ranger. A very big thank you, James Richard. We have been able to identify his name, not moving as fast as he was moving before. Either the reedbuck have disappeared in the grass, and that is where he is. That's Mr. Ranger.
Well, everybody. Looks like Kuchava just went up in a nice big marula here for us, and she's now got a nice little vantage point. So unfortunately the bushbuck did see her, and the bushbuck started barking, and then she lost interest, and then she continued moving south, and now she's gone up into a marula tree. So how stunning is this? And it's typical for a nice a leopard shot as well, when you think about a leopard up in a tree, marula tree. And that's exactly what she's chosen. Beautiful. One of the fantastic traits of a leopard, the agility of a leopard when it comes to climbing a tree is it's marvelous. It's something to behold, and you think it's a biggish cat. I mean, she's about 35-40 kgs, and when she climbs this tree, it looks like she's a tree squirrel. The agility of a leopard, it's amazing. But she's not sleeping. She's just got her head up. She's just looking around that side, because that's her general direction, is to sleep. Looks like she's like, let me just. I think she had a rough morning, and I agree with her. She had to have very much a rough morning. She had her two youngsters with her. She moved quite far, quite a bit, looking out for, or taking them to, I think, a certain spot, and then all of a sudden she ran into her previous daughter in Sumi, and then she had to come south again. So she's been very busy this morning. So you can imagine her two youngsters, Rulani and Shapuku, I think they must be fast asleep somewhere. But this girl's a busy girl. She's a busy mother. You can imagine having two cubs that you have to bring up.
Well, there's been a little bit of movement. We've had a yawn, a bit of rollover, and we've now got some feet in the air. And the symphony of hardy-dars in the distance is soothing to the soul. Hey, Morgs? Beautiful. Beautiful. Such gorgeous light on these boys this afternoon. If they could sit up a little bit more. Some lovely screenshots. Vicky, they do make any position look comfortable. I suppose when you have to. I mean, we, as humans, actually, we've made our lives very comfortable. We should be sleeping on the floor. It's initially uncomfortable when you do sleep on the floor, but I think it's actually better for you. Being out in these wild places is very special. To be able to spend time with the iconic animals of Africa.
As you can see, nature never fails to produce something amazing. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.